Right, so I just wanted to hop on here and just offer some support, some compassion. So maybe this is a guided meditation, maybe this is something you just listen to and feel into what I'm sharing. I just want to be super vulnerable and authentic and just let you know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You don't need to... It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. No matter how intense it is, no matter how not intense it is, no matter how inauthentic it feels, no matter how authentic it feels, no matter what, it's okay. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to try and be something else. You don't need to pretend you're not feeling what you're feeling. Just give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to break down and fall apart if that's where you're at. You don't need to keep the bottle closed. You don't need to run from anything. You can fully embrace every part of your experience, every part of being alive, all the suffering, all the fear, all the doubt. It's okay. You can be the one who accepts you. You don't need to find somebody else to accept you for who you are. That's the beautiful thing. You don't need somebody else to validate you. And you don't need to judge yourself for having that conditioning. We can notice that, wow, there's a part of me that seeks for validation. There's a part of me that seeks for acceptance from others. Just be aware of that. And understand where that came from, that it's innocent. And it will pass through becoming aware of it and acting from a place of vulnerability. If we're acknowledged that, yeah, maybe I wouldn't like to admit it, but there's this part of me that seeks validation, that tries to people please, that doesn't know how to be authentic in every interaction. Offer it some compassion. It's innocent. It's conditioning that you picked up as a child. Maybe it was adaptive at a time. Maybe there was a time in your past where you needed to put on a hard face to get through some challenging circumstances. Maybe we learned sometimes that if we pushed away and repressed our emotions, it served us in the moment. But what we started to do was deny a part of our human experience. We started to teach ourselves that there was a part of us that was unacceptable. We started to believe that we shouldn't feel this, that it was wrong to be who we are. But it's not, it's innocent. You can feel it and accept it. You don't need to, the dark stuff, we don't want to act it out on other people. That's what we're afraid of, is that if I really feel hatred, if I really feel anger, if I really feel rage, I'm a bad person. I'm going to do bad things. But we only do bad things when we're so afraid of that emotion. If we can just allow that part of ourselves to come up when we've got some space, when we're sitting on our own, and we really allow it to be felt. You're not going to do those bad things. So you don't need to pretend that you're a good person all the time. It's all these identities that cause us this cognitive dissonance of, well, I'm a good person, so if I'm having that feeling, I have to pretend it's not there, because otherwise my identity crumbles. But it's okay for your identity to crumble. Freedom is no identity. But you get there through seeing the parts of yourself you don't want to see. Being so authentic with yourself that you just acknowledge what's already here. That you're not perfect. You're not a good person, you're not a bad person. You're just a person. And you're allowed to be just a person. And all of those identities and need for achievement and validation is all because we're not accepting the entirety of who we are. And I wanted to give you permission to do that. I can't give you permission. I can invite you to give yourself permission. I can maybe lead by example that it's okay to give yourself permission. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let go of trying to be someone. That's where all the suffering's at. Who am I supposed to be? How do I fit in? Just let it all go. Just for now. Sure, you can pick it up. If there's momentum to this kind of stuff, but just for now, just allow. Just feel this allowance, which is true unconditional love. That's what I really want to share here, is that unconditional love is accepting something just as it is. And not wanting it to be any other way. We use the word love all the time. I love you, I love this, I love that. But a lot of that's just attachment. If we truly love somebody, then they don't need to be anything other than they are. And that applies to yourself. Can you let your anxiety be just as it is? Can you let your fear be just as it is? Can you let your insecurities be just as they are? Can you stop trying to be something else? Can you stop trying to be something? You already are just being. But we believe that that's not enough because we're denying so much. So just let go and know that it's okay. It's okay to be absolutely vulnerable. And it's okay if you struggle to be vulnerable. It's really an intention that you can learn to be vulnerable. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to let everything fall apart. We cling so hard to these identities because we're terrified of what happens if we let go completely into the unknown. But trust me, that's exactly where you want to go. And it's okay if you struggle to let go. And you don't need me to tell you this. You can accept every bit of yourself. You have everything you need to accept yourself. But you got to be willing to see all of it. You got to be willing to acknowledge all of it. You got to be willing to not hide anything from yourself anymore. You got to not want to pretend. And you got to notice when you are pretending and just realize that and be aware. So I don't know how this comes across. Might sound crazy, but I just wanted to get on here and be vulnerable and try to offer some compassion that maybe through this video you get a feeling of compassion. Maybe you don't. But yeah, just know that it doesn't matter who you are, what you're going through. It will be okay. And you just need to let go and allow. And I just want to share that there is this opportunity to no longer live from that space of suffering. But it depends how willing you are to let go. How willing you are to no longer hold a view that something outside of you needs to change. All of the work is internal. Sure, there can be better and worse external circumstances, but that doesn't have to affect you internally. So that can be a relief. And it can be difficult to let go of what we were blaming for our internal state. Just allow. What happens if you let go? And you can feel blame, but you don't have to identify with the blame. If a part of you wants to blame everything, then just acknowledge that I'm feeling blame. But what's below that? What don't I want to feel underneath the blame? And I can feel blame without actually blaming anything in specific. Any specific external person, circumstance, situation. We can have really challenging external circumstances. I'm not denying that at all. But what are you not accepting within yourself? So, yeah, I hope that's helpful. It's going to be okay. Even if it feels like it's not going to be okay. That's fine. The mind might hate this. Because this is not about intellectual understanding. It's about raw feeling, being a human. All right. That's that.